Hello, I am Wanderer001 and this is my review of the Garmin friction mount. I'm going to call this the Garmin Classic friction mount because they do have a newer beanbag style one, and this is the older version which is still found in a few places, but it was kind of hand-me-down and I've been using it for my GPS, so I figured I'd do a review of it. What you're looking at here is a rubberized flexible base, which as you might be able to see is a matte black, which does collect dust, hair, and all sorts of other things. It was originally this black color, so it hasn't faded at all. You do have the ball joint backing here, which, as you see, can move up and down so that you can place your GPS at a particular angle that you would like. What you're looking at here is a 6.5 inch tall and 4.6 inches at its widest, and something weighing in at 8 ounces. The bottom is this no slip grip. It's difficult to describe this. It's not sticky, but it does have a stickiness to it. The closest I can akin this to is if you've ever used that keyboard cleaner that you push in between your keys to take out the dirt. That's what this is like. It might be a little difficult to see on the dash. This is one of the negative things that I found. It kind of seems to leave some sort of residue. It might just be that my dashboard is really old and I haven't armor-alled it in years, and that's kind of what it is. Again, not really perceivable there, but that's really the only negative factor I've found. There's a few caveats when actually using a GPS with this. I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit, but as far as being able to flex this to meet your particular car stylings, it's pretty good. I do foresee if you have like an inboard dash or like something that sits up here, this is not going to function well for you because it'll probably get in the way, because it has to be facing this way in order for you to actually see the GPS. If you have it turned sideways, well, you turn to the side and the GPS comes off. So with that said, I'm gonna jump into showing you what I was talking about, a little bit of that bounce, which is a negative in my opinion for this, but you can see what that looks like now. New Garmin GPS style backing friction mount test. So I'll try to give the best example of how the display looks on the friction mount while driving. Right now it's currently idling. Hopefully the image stabilization on the camera does not affect how it looks too much. Now I do not have my camera person with me, so I'm going to be trying to do this by myself. So I will attempt to keep this in frame as best I can. It's also angled towards me as you would have it, obviously, if you were using this friction mount, so that you could see what you were doing. Now, you can see a little bit of a bounce thanks to the reflection that's coming off of it. And really, at first it was something that really annoyed me, but it's, after a while, almost imperceivable. So again, this will just give you an idea of what the bounce is like with the friction mount. Depending on your placement in your vehicle, it may vary as to how it bounces or looks on you. This is based on, as I showed you before, the particular setup in my particular car. Right now, I'm really just going over a straight grade, little curves here and there. As you can see, not going faster than 30 miles an hour, really. Here's a tight curve. And what it looks like with a complete stop. And going again. So really, I mean, Perceptible to my eye. I don't see the glare that you guys are probably seeing in the camera. And like I said, I do realize that it is shifting around quite a bit. I'm doing my best to keep it as in frame as I can. But that glare is imperceivable to me as the driver. I do see the bounce happening, but aside from that, nothing really too bad. Apparently they took away my normal parking spot, so we're gonna come up this way a little bit more. A little rougher terrain. And apparently that's why there's something going on around here. Okay, and that is it for the new style backing test. Old style Garmin mounting and friction mount test. Okay, just like before. This is the old style Garmin mount, and starting at the same location, so we're going to take the same route we did last time, just to make this as fair as possible. It also has the cable connected and placed in the same exact place. Everything with the friction mount has not been moved at all from when I did the last test. And again, I am freehanding this test, so I do apologize, and I will try and keep it in frame. Now, aside from the mount being different, the other big difference is this is not the touch, well, it is a touchscreen, but it is not the capacitive touchscreen as the 2599 is. This is the 2555. So the bouncing is still noticeable on the sides. I'm hoping that's perceptible. So we'll see after we come around this corner here. All right, so we're gonna have to sit at the stoplight for a second. But I'm hoping that especially the upper right-hand corner, because it's a glossy front finish, I can see the bouncing on the corner of the GPS, but it's not as noticeable on the screen. And that's because the touchscreen on the older models is slightly different than the touchscreen on the newer models. Yeah, the screen itself is set up slightly differently because this is how I had the GPS, you know, graphical user interface set up originally for the older model. So again, we're taking the same route we did last time, staying within the speed limit. So again, nothing more than 30. Here's that hard turn again. And there will be a complete stop coming up in a moment. We'll do it a little rougher like we did last time, just to see if we get a bounce. And here we go. Do realize that the windows are down, so you might be hearing a little wind noise. If that's the case, maybe I'll just cut the audio out of this and use it as an example in the upper right like I normally do. A little bouncier, some tougher terrain coming up. Well, not tougher, but it's a little ruddier because of the patches from the potholes. So let's see how that looks. All right, a little more. And we're going to come to the parking spot we came to last time. Ready. I mean, aside from the little bit of bouncing that you get with using the friction mount, it's a good thing to have. It is obviously portable, so you can take this out of your car just like you could with the suction mount and move it into another car. Now, the beauty of this is, so far since I've been using it, I haven't had the GPS fall off. With the suction mount, at times it does fall off and, you know, you're left with a GPS floating around on the floorboard somewhere. So if you're interested in this, it can be purchased from anywhere between, you know, $17 on Amazon to like $32 if you find it at like a Best Buy or something and it's not really on sale. I know this is kind of a shorter one, but you know, it's just a little friction mount to mount your GPS to. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. I've been Wanderer 001. Thanks for watching.